Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to react to a video that a subscriber just sent me. Doordash president explains their accept screen and hidden tips for drivers. And it is on the Rideshare guy. I've never actually heard of this guy, but he's got 93,000 subscribers, so he must have a pretty decent channel. And is fortunate enough to get the Doordash president on an interview. Wow, I would love to get on one of those guys. How do I go about getting a Doordash president or higher up on my podcast? I don't know if they would want to though. Well, we'll see. Anyways, so already I'm really interested in watching this video because for one, I'm like, it's already kind of strange that the president would answer these kind of questions because I feel like they know they're being little, kind of little bitches for hiding orders from people. For two, I really wonder what their explanation is. Like, I would imagine it's to try to turn people into top dashers. And like, the idea that they're trying to get people to take these insanely ridiculous orders, like, I would have loved to ask this question because I don't think I would hold back. And I hope that this guy who is interviewing him doesn't hold back, because I would be like, yo, would you do a $3 order? Like, you're expecting people to take these $3 orders, and in my opinion, I think that it's I think of it, the way I've been thinking about DoorDash lately is a lot like the way I think about, like, credit cards and stuff. It's great for the people who know how the system works and know how to treat them. Like, I basically only pay with credit cards, but I pay off my credit cards every single month, and I never have a credit card bill, I don't get charged for interest or any of that stuff because I pay them off fully every single month. So I understand how the system works, but 90% of people who have credit cards don't understand how it works. And I also think that 90% of people don't understand how DoorDash works. And I see people all the time commenting like, man, I've been accepting all of the orders up until I watched these videos. Thank you. Like, so much people are like, man, I should have, like, watched this channel a long time ago. And I honestly, like, when I first started, I had no idea what I was doing. I was accepting pretty much anything that came in, And people don't realize, they're like, okay, for one, you're making money now, but they don't realize the escalators go in the opposite direction. You're going one way, but the escalators go in the opposite direction. I always use that analogy because you think you're making money now, but you don't consider the taxes you're paying on it. You don't consider the wear and car, the gas. I mean, most people consider the gas at least. Otherwise, you'd be kind of dumb to not consider the gas. But the wear and tear, the insurance, the risk that you're taking, all of this does not make any sense to take any orders that are, in my opinion, less than $7 and $2 a mile. So I know I sound like a Decline Now person. Rest in peace, Decline Now group. I don't know whatever happened to those guys. But anyway, so we're going to react to this video. I am very interested to see how he poses this question and, like, what the guy's answer is going to be. So I haven't seen this video yet, so just to be completely transparent, this is my first time watching it. Normally I try to make these reaction videos kind of funny and comical and stuff. I'm actually going to take this one seriously, so if you're looking for jokes and stuff, I'm not going to make fun of this guy. I actually didn't ask him to react to his video or anything, so I hope he doesn't, like, take my video down or something. I'm just going to give my honest opinion, not making fun of anyone, none of that stuff. Alright, let's watch this video and see what this is all about. So it pops up, how does DoorDash decide what delivery information is showed to the driver?
I have one last question about Dashers. We put a call out to our audience. They were very excited that I'd be chatting with you. A lot of Dashers, obviously, as you mentioned, in the past year, a lot of folks have signed up to Dash. And, there were a number of questions, but I feel like the main question that we got from our audience kind of revolved around what I'll call the accept screen, right? And really, like, the information that is provided to drivers upon accepting, and obviously, like, well, maybe not obvious, but right now, DoorDash provides kind of the total amount, including tips most of the time, and sometimes there's the opportunity for a bigger tip, which I don't know if you know this, but a lot of DoorDashers refer to this as hidden tips. So I'm curious, kind of what is DoorDash, and I know there've been some issues in the past, but, like, how is DoorDash thinking now about the information that they provide to drivers and sort of making sure that it's transparent enough, but at the same time, I think ensuring, like, a reliable experience on driver and customer side?
Yeah, ultimately for us, it's about providing the transparency that Dashers need to make an informed decision. about whether they want to do that delivery or not. And so if you look at, it's got the subtotal of the order, it's got the restaurant, it's got the driving distance, and the Dasher. Actually, our data suggests that different Dashers have different.
All right, pause. So yeah, he just mentioned DoorDashers have different philosophies. I wonder how much if they pay attention to these YouTube videos, if they do, or how, because they obviously have all of the information and stuff. They are constantly probably trying to adjust the app to based on what Dashers are taking and stuff. And my thing is you can't call them anything but hidden tips, because DoorDash knows how much that tip is, but they are hiding it from you, which is the most annoying part to me. It's not like the customer is... See, when I first found out about the post tips and stuff, I was assuming that those came from the customer tipping you after you completed the order. I didn't know it was all up front, which it doesn't make sense that it's all up front, because what if you do a phenomenal job? They're not going to be able to give you a tip after. They decided how much they were going to tip you before you completed your job. So in my opinion, I think it's just straight up I just don't like it. It's why are you hiding how much I'm going to make? I always refer back to if I was to pay my acrobats half of what they should be making, and then on times where we are making good money, tell them, oh yeah, so you're actually going to make, not tell them until after they've completed the job, oh yeah, guys, guess what? You actually got paid your normal rate that you should be getting paid, that you deserve. In my opinion, I just think it's a giant scam. So real quick break, shout out to the Para app, helping you guys get rid of those hidden tips so you don't have to worry about orders being hidden. So if you guys haven't yet, check out the tip transparency on the Para app. Download that. Click it in the link below. Top of the link, or top of the description. That app is going to give you full tip transparency to kind of get around this whole DoorDash hiding your tips thing. In my opinion, it's a total scam, and I would have loved to be on this, because I don't think that this guy's gonna, nothing against him, I just don't think that he's going to really press him and ask him any of the questions that I want to actually hear. What would you take a $3 order? That's the one that I want to know, because the answer is going to be no. Obviously, they're smart business guys. They're not going to take this crap orders. But some people are, and I think it's a giant scam. Anyways, okay. But shout out to the Rideshare guy. You guys go check out his channel. Obviously, I'm using this video without his permission, so I hope he doesn't pull it down or something like that, Anyways, let's continue.
Philosophy. Some are doing $1 per mile. Some are saying, oh, wait a minute, that restaurant, I don't like going to that restaurant because it's too slow.
Yeah, we won't name any names here, but there's definitely a few.
Right. Well, it's really busy at different times of day, and Dashers learn that over the course of time. And so our job is to give enough information so that Dashers make an informed decision about, do I want to do that job or do I not? And then, we also want to make sure that there's, enough liquidity, if you will, in the system, so that the customer demand is being met. So one of the things, for example, you're talking about the tips, right? So we'll show the DoorDash component and a portion of the tip, but we cap that because we found that a lot of times people were just waiting for the big tips kind of thing.
Okay, pause. So the way he's saying this is we want to make sure there's enough liquidity in the system, meaning there's enough people to take all the crappy orders. Come on, DoorDash, raise your standards. In my opinion, you should raise your standards and not force people to be have to deny all these crappy orders that come in. Because man, the DoorDash has got to acknowledge that people are taking a risk. One, you're not covering them with insurance. Two, they are screwed if they get in a car crash or something. And then, it's not even worth their time, So you're trying to get people to take these crap orders because you guys don't want to have good enough standards. You want to get all the customers, but you don't want them to have to pay enough because you don't want to lose your share in the whole, delivery driving, world, Because if one company charges too much, then they're going to get less orders than Uber Eats is or something like that, So they're all constantly fighting with each other on who is going to have like the best market share, and whoever has the best market share is probably charging the cheapest for the orders. It's like, how can we make this lucrative enough to keep these customers and stuff? And granted, DoorDash does a great job. They're very good with their customer service, which is why I solely do DoorDash. Like, I'm not trying to bash on these guys, but in my opinion, it's kind of a scam that they're trying to get you to take these crappy orders. And I don't want to beat a dead horse, but let's continue.
So I wouldn't, I would characterize it differently. I would say it's you get the full tip amount always, but then sometimes there's a bonus, right? There's a surprise that you get incremental money on the. And so one of the things we look very closely is how often people accept orders, and that, along with the philosophy of being transparent to Dashers, has served us well. I think if you compare our accept modal.
Did he just say modal? I wonder if he meant to say modal. It's got to be a mistake. No one says modal, do they? Do you guys say modal? No, it's model. There's no way he meant to say modal.
The screen you're talking about to others in the industry, we have more information on that screen, and that's why.
Yeah. What acceptance rate are you sort of hoping from Dashers on average, or what are you guys kind of tracking there?
Yeah, it's not a number that we haven't disclosed that number. It's less about an overall acceptance rate. It's more about how quickly you can get the order accepted. If you follow me. So you're not expecting a perfect score here, because sometimes Dashers are like, I'm done. So you're going to get a no in that situation. Some Dashers are like, I don't want to go over there, so I'm going to go over here. So it's not a perfect science. What I'm looking for is making sure that the Dashers that quote unquote would normally accept because they think it's a good opportunity continue to do so.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is actually really the challenge across the whole gig economy when you're hiring independent contractors and you sort of need to provide them with the total or, a lot of information, right, about each job that they're accepting. And I think I agree with you. Like you mentioned, DoorDash does provide a lot more than other services. But at the same time, you kind of have to balance that, on an individual level as a Dasher, if I see two different Dashes and one pays a lot better or one's going to be a lot easier, I'm going to opt for that easier one, or the individual one. But over time, if I keep doing that too often, right, and every Dasher keeps doing that too often, then it's not as reliable of experience on the customer side. And so I'm just curious how you think about like relaying, because I like to tell people like Dashers and Uber drivers, like we're selfish, right? Like we think about what's best for ourselves in the moment, and we don't really care about like the aggregate, acceptance rate or how time to accept.
Okay, before he answers, I want to say, we have to be selfish. You are a fool if you are not selfish and you are thinking about the customer and the company. Like, you cannot. You're an independent contractor. There's no benefits that come with this job. It is strictly a gig basis, and your job is to get from point A to point B. You have to be. It's not that we're selfish. You have to be selfish. You absolutely have to be selfish. Otherwise, you're making a huge mistake. It's a business world, you have to be selfish. You absolutely have to. Just want to put that point across before he answers, because I'm wondering where he's going to go with this one.
On average. So how do you kind of relay that and like kind of get us bought in to, hey, we got to do this for the integrity of the system, right?
Well, I mean, ultimately, we want to meet both needs, and so you've probably seen we do. So there's the screen you're talking about, which illustrates the pay for that order. But we have other methods, right? So we'll have like bonus programs, for example, if you maintain a certain acceptance rate, if you do a set of deliveries in a row type thing, you'll make more money as a result of that. And so those techniques are designed to bridge the gap that you're talking about, which is to say, hey, like, we're going to help the Dasher make more money in total. Yeah. But maybe we were trying to get them to think outside of only the individual delivery. Still can make the decision on an individual basis, but the prize.
Okay, in my opinion, maybe some people will disagree. I think the incentives, other than when it's like plus $1 or plus $2 or whatever it is, I think the incentives are a complete scam. Because if you have to accept a certain amount of orders to get to a certain price, you're screwing yourself, you know? You just have to kind of do the math. I've done the math many times before, and if you do one order that pays $10, the next one pays $3, the next one pays $3, the next one pays $3, but you have to accept 4 in a row or something, like you have to have a 100% acceptance rate or something like that. Just think about it. Do the math. It almost never adds up right, you know? You are gambling. And it's like, if you were to play poker and you had this incentive of like an extra like few chips, you know, if you just kept going all in or something like that, you're going to be a bad gambler. It doesn't make any sense. I always call delivery driving and gig work strategic gambling, because you have to make the best educated decision you can all the time. And if you're not, and you're slacking on your decision making, then you're going to essentially waste your time. And again, I cannot emphasize this enough. There's so much risk involved with being an independent contractor. You can lose your income at any moment. DoorDash could deactivate you for stupid things, you know? So as an independent contractor, you have to fight for yourself, you know? You have to make all of the best decisions. You can't just do what's best for the company. That company, I swear to God, that company will drop you like a fly in a heartbeat if you do anything wrong. Like, it doesn't matter. It's not like DoorDash has your best interests. Obviously, they do not have your best interests. They are only thinking as a company for their shareholders, and basically that's about it, and they just want the jobs to get done, and they're doing a good job, you know? But at the same time, we as independent contractors have to make the best decisions. That's why you have to play the field, you know? You have to have multiple apps open. You have to have multiple revenue sources. Like, you can't just rely on just one DoorDash, you know, like DoorDash or Uber Eats or whatever it is. You are making a huge mistake if you are relying on that as your one job. It is not a job. It is a gig. Job, gig. Huge difference. W-2, 1099. Big difference. You know, it's not a job. Don't call it a job. It's not a job. You are literally doing gigs. And you have to think of them as opportunities, you know? You're getting opportunities. Granted, like, of course, I'm thankful that I can DoorDash and that I'm given these opportunities to make money. So I'm not mad about it, but you can't. I just think the Top Dasher is such a big scam and the way they go about everything. Anyways, let's continue and finish this video.
Order.
Yeah, and I think I like that method. I think that's the trend that I would like to see across the gig economy, where sort of the best drivers, the most loyal drivers, you know, the highest rated drivers sort of get rewarded over time, and yet you still have the ability to, you know, accept or reject. And, you know, I think it's taken a little longer than I've hoped across other, you know, not single out DoorDash, but other platforms and every platform. But it does seem like we're moving in that direction. So,
okay. I guess that's the end of it. I would have loved to see where this interview is going. I don't know if there's like a full video or something. So go check out the Rideshare guys YouTube channel, guys. Shout out to that guy for nailing down a really good interview, at least with a good, solid person. I think we all want to hear more about that. So I'm going to just check out his profile and see if he has other stuff. Oh, so that's a brand new video. I didn't even realize this came out a day ago. So very interesting. Anyway, so final thoughts. I'm like, I wish he would have. I have so many questions that I would love to ask that guy. And yeah, just so many questions I would love to ask that guy. But I don't, it wouldn't be wise for him to answer my questions, I don't think. I would love for them to be transparent and stuff, but I don't think that they would be willing to put an executive on and talk about the kind of questions that I want to point out, like things that independent contractors shouldn't do, like I've been talking about in this whole video.